All right, what's up, everybody? RevSauce9. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon for the latest and greatest that comes to my channel. Now, my live streams going forward, as I told you in the last review, are going to be on Twitch. I'm going to be on Twitch primarily. Come over and subscribe if you want to talk wrestling, sports, things like that, and you just want to ask me questions and have some fun over there on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I'm going to be going forward. That's where I make my revenue. I will be pre-recording things for the YouTube channel and things like that, like reviews, whatnot. Or if I do them live, it'll be over on Twitch and watch-alongs, and I'll just bring them over here to YouTube after the fact. So, and there will be audio going forward on Spotify and whatnot. So, anyway, let's get into talking about the American Bash, the Great American Bash, Week 2. We're going to talk about this. The grand finale of American Bash. Honestly, to be honest with you, this was a weak show to me. The week prior was better. I didn't review it, but it was better. Week 2 was just very weak. I did not like most of the stuff on the show personally. That's my personal opinion. We're going to start with Pete Dunne defeating Trick Williams. I thought the match was great up until they had Trick Williams hulk up and then run into the post, and then I just found that to be very like hokey pokey. I found that ridiculous personally. I like Dunn getting a victory, but that's not how we should be doing Trick Williams. Trick Williams should be building himself back to facing Ethan Page down the road. Unless they have bigger picture stuff for Trick Williams on the main roster, I did not like this at all. And I like Pete Dunne. I think Pete Dunne should be more featured on the main roster than NXT, getting big victories on NXT, coming to an expense of developmental talent. I think Trick Williams should be on Speed. He should be on many different places. I don't understand why we're doing this to Trick Williams. Trick Williams should be on Raw or SmackDown at this point if you're going to have him just lose in NXT. I get they're holding NXT talent for the CW because they're going to be going live across the board. I get they're holding Roxanne Perez. I get they're holding Suruka, Nikita Lyons. I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? Thea Hell. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to put these guys up on the main roster eventually. Trick Williams is too good at what he does. And I just don't like him jobbing out or losing to Pete Dunne completely. I find that ridiculous. I find that okey pokey. That is a bad move by Shawn Michaels in the booking department. Some things I like about Shawn Michaels when it comes to NXT. And then there's other times that I'm just going, Shawn, did you really have to have this person lose? It made no sense. I get we got to give Pete Dunne victories. I get we got to treat Pete Dunne better than we did before. And I'm happy he got a victory, but not at Trick Williams' expense. Sorry. The match went back and forth until Trick Williams did this Hulk up thing, went up into the thing, and that was that. The whole MSK thing. So we have at the end, right? So we have, Wes Lee turning on his former friends from TNA. That makes no sense to me either. You turned him face to turn him heel. You should have just turned him heel all along. You should have turned MSK. I don't understand. We went from the Rascals to MSK to the Rascals, MSK, Rascals, MSK. So does that tell me that MSK was just a facade because you didn't want to pull the trigger on the TNA Rascals thing? And the Rascals didn't work in TNA either because they're a Smoking 420 group. They're not so much a PG group. They're more of a PG-13 rated R kind of group, TVMA. So I didn't understand why they pulled the trigger with it now. You know what I mean? And I also didn't understand why, if you were going to change the name of them from the Rascals to MSK and then have them lose anyway, I just don't understand why you didn't turn them all heel. It would have made sense. But I get in TNA their face. And I get that maybe they had nothing for them and Wes Lee needed to turn heel. Wesley being heel is best for business, personally, but not the way they did it. I wasn't a fan of that either. This week's NXT, I just wasn't a big fan, man. Like, I'm telling you, I usually don't dislike NXT, and I usually hold NXT to the top of the bar. I actually say they're the bar compared to the main roster stuff. But what are we doing? This week just showed. What are we doing? And then we're doing these hokey pokey, like we're at a 4th of July camp out when it's not 4th of July or Memorial Day weekend. And we are doing bullshit things. We have the Good Brothers coming in that should be on the main fucking roster, not NXT, to look like a bunch of glorified dumbasses. I'm going to complain because literally the Good Brothers should be on Raw. They should be on SmackDown. They need a tag team division on both shows. They need a tag team division on both shows. Why are we dumbing them down to NXT levels? I said the same thing about Michin. Why? Yeah, you might as well send them to TNA and let them be part of the TNA roster under the partnership. These groups should be under TNA. Why are we putting them in NXT just to look stupid? It's Charlie Dempsey. This is another thing. You had Charlie Dempsey, right? Charlie Dempsey looks really good on a TNA, a GCW show, and then you have him look stupid here. Then you have this Warren St. Clair chick pretty much blackmailing, telling him, oh, well, if I win, I'm part of your group. She wins anyway, part of the group, and then he's going to get another chance at the Heritage Cup. Like, I get it. They got to build that up. I get it. Against the Dawn. But the Dawn should be further along. He should not be holding the Heritage Cup. He should be up in the transcending to NXT World Heavyweight title side. He's bigger than that Heritage Cup, and I just don't get it. I did not get this NXT from the beginning, middle, and end. I did not. We talk about AEW having bad booking. We talk about Triple H kind of screwing up here and there lately. Shawn Michaels dropped the ball here. Personal opinion, dropped the ball. I wasn't a big fan. Wasn't a big fan. We had Jordan versus Tatum Paxley. We had Jordan look like they came up short on their leg, and I don't know if it was kayfabe or it was real, but they looked like they came off hurt. You should have had Tatum Paxley win the match. I'm a big Tatum Paxley fan, and honestly, Tatum Paxley's got to get better with this 450. She's got to get better with the moves that she does because she's missing the move. I like her, but she botches. She is botching a move that's simple. She's not doing it right. And I see it every week from her. Then we have Wendy Chu out there with the doll thing. It's stupid. It's dumb. I'm left dumbfounded. It's like Alexa Bliss levels bad. Maybe there's a payoff at the end of that. Maybe there's a payoff. Maybe I see it. But this week's show was just not good. Wasn't good. The ratings show that. The ratings show that they went down in viewership. Why? Well, maybe because it's not because they were on Sci-Fi. NXT is usually the better show per week. I believe. I think it's a tier up from SmackDown usually on a weekly basis. I think NXT is better than SmackDown. And you're going to see that when they hit the CW. They did make the announcements that they're going to be going live every week, which is good. CW has a bigger audience. They should. Every week, they should. Starting September 1st, they should. With CM Punk being out there, they should hit 1 million people watching. There's no excuse now. NXT now, if they keep booking this shit like this week, the Great American Bash should be journeying July 4th or Memorial Day weekend. It should not be in the middle of August. When you feel a Great American Bash, you feel 4th of July. You feel. And it should be a pay-per-view more than a TV show. Honestly, I thought that was just a little bit weak to me. And you knew it was going to be trash. when it's a TV pay-per-view. It's the same way I say about AEW stuff. Fight for the Fallen, Fyter Fest. I say the same thing. You can make these shows better by putting a little booking and effort into them and book weeks in advance and have really good stuff. You don't have to have the title go to the new person, but you could make these matches look memorable. Tatum Paxley's good. Kiana Jordan. Kelani Jordan. I don't understand that. It looked like she came off hurt and was favoring her leg, maybe working it, maybe. I don't know, but Tatum should have won. The ref did not call the X sign. She was down on the ground for a minute. When she came off, it looked like kind of like how Jacob Fatu came down. I just don't understand. I don't get WWE in their booking sometimes. And Wendy Chu, I just don't get it. You brought her back to be the bedtime, the monster in your closet chick, and then her eyes. I get it. You're turning her heel, crazy fat shit. I don't get it. Wendy Chu, I wasn't the biggest fan of, and I'm still not. And this is not changing me. And Tatum Paxley is way better than her in personal opinion. Tatum was on TNA pay-per-views in the main events recently. She doesn't need Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu needs Tatum, to be honest with you. And it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm seeing it different. Maybe I'm just wrong. Ethan Page. Oro Mensah with Lash Legend and Jackson. I did not care for this. Why were they out there? They was just this distraction to me. This match was hokey pokey. Ethan Page, I knew was going to win this. There was a few times that I felt that the metaphor, the two chicks, Lash Legend, that's not been good, still not good, won't be good, should have taken his foot off the ropes and got the 1, 2, 3. They should have cheated to win. I was like, this is so screaming cheating to win. But in typical booking fashion, we don't do this. And here we are with Ethan Page winning. I'm just am baffled. And then Joe Hendry, you know, I love Joe Hendry. I love what they're doing with his music now in NXT. I love how they're building him up. It looks like he's going to be there every week, what it looks like. It looks like this is the first TNA guy. And why is WWE not buying out his contract? What WWE should do is buy out Joe Hendry's contract. Just buy it out completely and still, and buy it out and then just pay him. They have the money to do so. He needs to be in NXT more often. He should be up on the main roster, honestly. Joe Hendry versus defeating Joe Coffey. At the end of the day, this match was a throwaway match. Joe Hendry didn't need that. Joe Hendry needs to be fighting for titles and immediately because right now he's way over. The more you have this guy sitting, it's going to become a Cody Rhodes situation to where fans are going to start shitting on you for not putting the guy high up. He's got the charisma. He's got the skills. He's not that old, and he's funny. He's an LA Knight in the works. And I think he's a younger LA Knight. I think you should pull the trigger with him now. And I think this is where I think limiting TNA people to NXT under a partnership is stupid to me. Joe Hendry should be on the main roster. He should be on SmackDown or Raw fighting for big titles. I think it's just silly that you don't. And him fighting Wolfgang and Gallus is stupid to me. I think he's bigger than Gallus. The Razor's Edge a couple of times into the table on the last match with Ethan Page was okay. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the All Ego Page Razor's Edge type deal. The tag team match to wrap up the night with MSK was fantastic. That's how you do a main event. That's what saved the show. It's a C average for me, but that's what saved the show. I think, Wes Lee turning on his people was stupid to me. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to bring the MSK/Rascals back? And are you going to have a storyline? Are they going to turn with them? Are they going to, divulge? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? We'll see what they're doing going forward with that. Thea Hale may have another match again. Rich Holland and Chase U, that whole stupid situation. You already know what's happening. The other guy that partners with Chase is going to turn on him, turn heel. That's just brouhahaing. It's been brouhahaing for weeks. I think that whole situation is ridiculous. I think Chase U is about to disband. That's what I think is happening with that. They're building that up big time for that. But that's pretty much it here. I mean, MSK, that match went the distance. And, you know, again, as I said, Axiom and Nathan Frazier are good shit. These guys should be up on the main roster already. These guys are built for the main roster. Especially if you're bringing in, if Penta and Rey Fenix are coming, then I think they hold the belts until they show up. Or if you have the Motor Machine Gun show up, either way, you have them drop the belts. Now, Miguel and Vince got their asses beat. That's the way you should be doing it. And that's how it goes down if they want to go that way. But I wasn't a big fan of the end either. Wesley is just mad. I think that's what this is about. And I think, you know, Wesley, you know, as he came back, Omofeni beat him. And I think, honestly, he's going to try to get back his North American title as being a heel. I think that's the way he's going to do it. Anyway, the show, 6.75. Like I said about AEW Dynamite this week, too. This is a late review for me. Like I said before, I wasn't a big fan of Trick Williams losing, coming to results of Pete Dunne needing a win. This is not how you do it. You should have Pete Dunne win on the main roster, then developmental territory, or now they're calling it a main show now. But I'm happy to see NXT finally going to be going on the road. That's a good thing. That needs to happen. I've been saying it for a while. Get out of the Capitol Wrestling building and do the right thing starting September 1st. They're going to start doing that, running shows. So we're going to see how NXT looks week to week. Anyway, my name is RevSauce9. I hope you enjoyed this review. I apologize. It's a little negative, but I did not like this week's NXT personally. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.